welcome into the stream tonight. Gonna change things up and present our first electromechanical game since we've started the streaming. This is my Williams Honey from 1971. Actually, production started at the end of 1971, but it was really shipped in 1972. First time ever presenting this on the stream, so not sure how it's going to sound tonight. This is a rather loud game. It's got a large bell down in the bottom and a smaller bell up in the back glass, and I don't have anything muting those, so they're as loud as the bells are going to be. This was the first game in my collection. Bought it as a project and brought her back to life. Didn't need too much work, but over the years I've put some parts into it, and she plays pretty good. So without further ado, this is Williams Honey. And my apologies if you're wearing headphones. I do have one microphone right over here, and that's picking up my voice, but it also, I imagine, is picking up quite a bit of the bells on this game, too. And unfortunately, I don't really have a way to mute that. So just doing some casual play on the game tonight, see what kind of scores we can get on here. And of course, being an EM machine, it really doesn't keep high scores. You have to keep track of them some other way. So we'll put the high score up on the screen that we get tonight. And my apologies if it's difficult to read the score up there. The way my cameras are set up, it's hard to get a straight-on shot of the scores. But right now it's a little over 19,000. And it doesn't help that the score rails are set back a little bit from the back glass. So you really do need to be looking head-on at it to see through the windows. This game is set up to use. It is set up for free play, and points will award extra balls on this rather than special or credits. First extra ball is at 52,000, and second extra ball at 83,000. If you get a good game going, it's possible to roll the scores over. So we'll see if we can roll them over tonight. That was just getting warmed up. We'll go ahead and enter that score in anyway. Let's see, where's my scores here? Ding, ding, ding! Yeah, this is quite a noisy one. This is going to be one of my noisier streams because you can't turn it down. There's no volume control on the bells. Scoring on this game. At the very top, there is a button that says Advance 1 to 5. Way up there. Okay, that advances these numbers up. These are also rollover buttons here that you can roll over and advance up. Each time you get this all the way up to 5, it advances this score over here. This score starts at 500, goes to 1,000, 3,000, and extra ball. They both move simultaneously on both sides, and you score that by either one of these kickouts right here. In the middle, you have 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, and 10,000. That advances each time you get the ball in this saucer here in the middle. there is a target blocking that saucer that you have to knock down, and then you get it in the saucer, awards those points, and advances it. You can also advance this score up at the top where it says Advance Center Hole Value. You roll down through there, you get 1,000 points, and it'll advance this score as well. Over here you have a A, over here you have a B, drop targets. You drop those down, it advances these numbers 3 times. So you go 1, 2, 3, or 3, 4, 5. So that'll help advance your bonuses on either side as well. If you hit this switch or this switch, a ball save post comes up between the flippers. You hit this little white button here, and that goes down. So you have to be careful, because sometimes you can do a shot off your flipper, hit this drop target right here, and it's going to come straight down. And if you had that post up, it's going to roll over that button and drop the post, and the ball will go right out. Bumpers are all worth 10 points. Unless they're lit, then they're worth 100. To light them, you have the 2 outer lanes, the A lane and the C lane. You get 500 points for going down there, and it lights up the bumper of its respective color. So this side will light up the red bumpers, this side will light up the green bumpers. Center bumper is always 100. Hey, Borg Dog, thanks for the raid. Appreciate having some extra viewers in here tonight. And we're right out. Oh, there is a gate open here as well. If you get down the A and B posts, that does open the gate. And that gives you your ball back from draining. Those of you just joining, my name is John. My friends call me Scappy. Welcome into Scappy's Arcade. Just a small collection of games here in my basement that I like to stream now and then. And I didn't even see that raid come in. It looks like my it looks like my alerts are not working tonight. My apologies for that. So, good strategy in this game is to try to get a shot off your flipper that's going to hit all those rollovers right up. And that'll advance your bonus really quickly. There is no end of ball bonus on this game. We got 28K on that one. So goal tonight is to see if we can get a couple 100,000 games in here. Roll that over. This is one of the games when Williams were starting to use DC for some of their coils. So the pop bumpers are DC in this game. So you have a little bit more of a kick to them. And I believe the slingshots are as well. So there were a limited number of coils that were wired up for DC on this. This game was a re-import. It came in from Denmark and actually has a 50 hertz transformer and score motor in it. To deal with the power system that was over there. And as such, the score motor does run a little fast in this game because it was not made for 60 hertz. So when it is scoring multiple points, like 500 or 1,000, it'll run faster than the American counterpart would have. No harm, and it does seem to be accurate. It just runs a little fast. Matter of fact, most shipments of honey were export. By pretty much a 5-to-1 ratio, there were more exports than there were ones that were domestic. In all, there were a little over 6,000 of these made. Okay, we got our ball saver up there. Got 5,000 on our center bonus. Up to 10,000 now. And after you score that, it resets back to 3,000. Oh! Had that little yellow or little white rollover. See if we can get to 52,000, we'll get an extra ball here. Oh, it just fell a little short, 50,990. Not a bad game overall. This does suffer a little bit of paint loss in the back glass. It was in a damp location when I got it, but I imagined before that it had been in a basement for a little while because there is some evidence that some water did get into the game at one time. And there's some smears on the back glass and some flaking paint, mostly in the pinks on this game. Luckily, all the whites are fine. No the cracking you normally see in the white paint on a game of this vintage Williams. So it's mostly in the pink hair on honey in the back glass. And I've kind of compensated a little bit by putting some pink LEDs behind that part of the back glass. The whole game does have LEDs in it. They're warm white. I didn't get the real bright ones. They show up a little bright on the camera just because it's the webcam. In person, you don't see those hot spots that you see on the camera. Everything is much more evenly lit. I don't know, can you guys hear me over the sound of all those bells? And no chimes in this one, it's all bells. Hey, it's got a couple new follows here. Again, I'm sorry, I don't have my pop-ups working for some reason, but DOS Reboot, thanks for the follow, and Hair Plugs Joe, love the username. Thanks for following tonight. Help me get to that. Help me get to that goal. Started streaming back in February of this year. Still a little new to this. This is the first time this game has been on stream, but I have 3 other games in the collection. All solid-state Williams games. I have a Gorgar, a Space Shuttle, and a Big Guns that I do stream from time to time. I'm usually here Thursday nights and Sunday mornings. And there's an occasional unannounced stream during the week, depending on what's going on. Sometimes I'll be around on a Tuesday night or a Friday night. Do a quick reset here on my alerts and see if that will see if that'll start working again. I don't know why. There we go. I think maybe you know, I haven't rebooted this lately, and it may still be open from the last time I was here, so there we go. Get all these things refreshed, and hopefully next time someone new comes on here, we'll get a nice little alert on our screen, and I'll be able to acknowledge you in real time and give you the props that you deserve. All right, only 23 on that one, so let's see what we can do as far as getting a nice good game going here. This game I don't have set very steep. The portion of the basement that this is in, the floor is slightly sloped. So to compensate, I do have one of the front levelers out a little bit. And I can't do the back levelers both out all the way to get the height in the back. So, you know, it's a little floaty. It's probably 5%, maybe a little less. About a year ago, I did rebuild the pop bumpers on this, and boy, they really thump. The old ones were quite clearly original, and I had some cracked skirts, and the bodies of the pop bumpers were very well worn. Oh boy, this is going to be a short one. Oh, 14,000. Yeah, that was a rough go on that one. Something about the charm of these old EM machines, though. Not only with the bells, but you hear all the mechanisms going. I mean, there's no soundtrack, there's no background music playing. You hear relays clicking. You hear the score reels advancing. You get a pretty good buzz off of these flippers when they're held. And you got a motor running in there when you have to do multiple calculations. When that has to reset a bunch of things or score a bunch of points, there's a motor spinning in there and a bunch of contacts bouncing up and down. It's quite the light show of sparks underneath the playfield when it's going. You notice that this game does not have any in lanes. You just have your slingshots here and a couple of out lanes. And those are pretty wide out lanes. trap up so I can send it right up those rollovers. $21,000. Seems like I'm going in the wrong direction here a little bit. Let's see. Anybody new coming in? No. All right. I think we finally got that keeping track of who's here and who's not. It was kind of a last-minute decision to stream this game. I was originally going to stream Space Shuttle again tonight, but got off of work and immediately came over here and said, you know, I think I'm going to stream this one tonight, and I moved the cameras over and played a couple test games, and here we are. Not sure yet what I'm going to stream next week. Might be one of the solid states, or might be this one again. What would you guys prefer I stream? You got this game, Space Shuttle, Big Guns, and Gorgar are options. Or if you don't want to, if you want to send me a game, I'll stream that one too. But those are the 4 that I have down here in the basement. Just missed it. Now, being as old as this game is, it does have a few of these inserts have popped up, or some are sunken down a little bit, and as such, they do sometimes get the ball hung up on them. So, the tilt bob is not hooked up in this game, just in case you have to nudge it off of a place where it's stuck. Not that I'm going to be really manhandling this game tonight anyway, but... It does have a tilt, it's just not hooked up. Boy, 15,560. This is one of those games where you can get a lot of action going on those pop bumpers, and it really does benefit you to have them all at 100 points if you can get the ball back up there again. And one of the ways to do that is to get that gate open and be able to plunge the ball again. Otherwise, it is very difficult to get the other bumpers lit. Got a 1 out of 3 chance here to light some bumpers. But getting the ball back up there into those lanes again, it's difficult, if not impossible. That center kick out is quite a bit unpredictable. the wood up here is very worn out. So sometimes the ball is on this side, sometimes it's on this side. So you don't know if it's going to go this way, or straight down. It really can go any way. And I don't think Cliffy has made anything for this game yet. Oh, we got it up there, got it up there. Okay, we're going to get the greens lit. We do have our gate open, if we can get the ball to head over that way. Ah, no dice. Still a good ball. We have all white LEDs in the inserts tonight, which is the way the game would have been. Just regular clear bulbs. However, when we have family over, I usually put some colored bulbs into the inserts to dress it up a little bit. But we have more of the original look going tonight for the stream. Almost got a high score. Let's see, what's our high score sitting at here? 50? Alright. Gotta get those bumpers lit. That's the big thing. Get those pop bumpers all lit. Okay, there's our greens. Alright, so here's our chance. Now, if I can do a soft enough plunge, I might be able to arc it right in here. Oh, a little too hard. We're going to bounce around a little bit. Oh, already have our greens, so no help there. No. Good for a ball one. Alright, got 41 here. We can get up to 52, we'll get an extra ball. Two balls left. Two balls left. All right, got the extra ball lit. Or got the extra ball. Out of habit, I hit my right flipper, expecting a lane change, but there's no lane change in this game. Not in this era. Oh, almost got to replunge that. All right, got another extra ball. So this is not an add-a-ball game. That's just showing you ball in play down there. It's not how many balls left to play. There was not an add-a-ball version of this game. You can just earn extra balls or replays. So the maximum score that this will show you is 99,990. There is no 100,000 light or 100,000 digit on this. So you really do roll it over like it just did. And you just got to keep it honest with whoever you're playing with that, yeah, I've got over 100,000. Oh, and it walks right on and out. But hey, not a bad game. 105,800. Close my little score keeper here. Oh goodness, it's going to be tough to beat that one, isn't it? So yeah, it really does add up when you get extra balls and you have those pop bumpers lit up, being worth 100 points. And anytime you can get that award in the middle there of 10,000, it can't hurt. Boy, barely got the flip on that one. Oh, here we go. Alright, so now we got all of our pop bumpers lit. Our gate is open. There's no kickback in the left lane, but the right lane does have that gate that sends the ball back to the shooter lane. I haven't mentioned it, but it should go without saying that this is a single ball game. There is no multi-ball on this. All that action and only got 19,000, huh? Those digits are rolling over, aren't they? Oh! I thought it was going to bounce a little bit. So what's everybody playing lately? Or are you guys just watching others play pinball? Or are you guys playing pinball? What's everyone been up to? Always interested to see what other games are being played by everybody, and what kind of games you all gravitate towards. Personally, I'm a fan of the games from the mid-'80s to mid-'90s, because that's the time that I was mostly in the arcades. Between Chuck E. Cheese and the arcade at college, and those are the two main places I played. The local mall had an Aladdin's Castle. I remember playing High Speed there, or maybe it was High Speed 2. It was one of those two. Either the Getaway or High Speed. One of my favorites in college was Bride of Pinbot, the machine. They had one of those in the basement of the campus center building. So there was a dining hall down there that was mostly pizza and sandwiches. But they also had, I don't think there were any upright video games. There may have been one or two. But there were at least 4 pinball machines there. I know I've spoken before that I remember playing Whitewater, Addams Family, The Machine, and one of the games that was based off of a amusement park, and I don't remember which one it was. It was not Hurricane. It may have been Comet. I'm always interested in seeing what other people are interested in and what you're playing. Oh! That went right over the ball saver. That was quite the forceful kick out. Got some air. This game was a bit of a basket case when I got it. Somebody had painted over the artwork on the outside of this, but luckily they used latex paint, and I was able to strip it off, and the original artwork was still underneath and still in fairly decent shape. So I was able to strip all that off, but someone did paint the frame around the back box black. That would originally have been white when the game was new. And you know, there was this plastic here was broken, and the wire form underneath was missing. And like I said, at some point, it must have been under a leaky pipe or something in a basement, and water ran down in here. And I was able to clean most of that up pretty good. There's still some staining underneath, but outward appearances, it still looks pretty good in that aspect. The person I bought it from had purchased it, I believe, at an auction, and they had no idea how to make the game work. They weren't able to get it to play. They didn't have any keys for it, and they were asking a lot more than I thought it was worth. So when I saw the ad on Craigslist for this is going back 5 years ago now, 6 years. I went over to take a look at it and thought about it a little bit, and then I came back and made a guy an offer, and he accepted the offer. So when I came to pick it up, I showed up in a Toyota Highlander, a mid-size SUV, and the guy says, "There's no way you're ever going to fit that game in your car." I said, "Well, sure I will. I'll just take the back box off and take the legs off." That blew his mind. He had no idea that the game came apart. So I was able to take the back box off and got the game home, got it into my garage. There were some broken rubbers and things like that, but I was finally able to get the game to reset with a little work. Needed a lot of switches cleaned, and I think within a day or two I had it playing games. And I immediately set on cleaning it up and ordering a new rubber ring kit for it and new light bulbs for it. Both bells were disconnected when I got it. As a matter of fact, the small bell was completely missing. And I guess that's quite common for the export games to have the bell removed, because some countries, they may have it in a restaurant or something like that, and they don't want the noise. And this game is a much quieter game without those bells, I will admit. I believe it was probably re-imported back to the United States sometime in the 1990s. Maybe it was earlier than that. But it had stickers on both the back glass and on the arch here of a local distributor who's since been out of business. But it also has the name of a distributor in Denmark right up here on a little placard. And I kept that one on just because it, part of the heritage and where the game came from. And inside the game, it's actually stamped for the type of coin it was set up for. The Krona, I believe it was. K-R-O-N-A. So I kept those kind of things on it. A little bit of the history. When I had this game apart and was getting ready to move it down to the basement, on the underside of the game, someone has drawn a tic-tac-toe board with chalk. So it may have been sitting on its end in storage in a basement or something, and someone said, "Hey, let's play some tic-tac-toe," and a nice little place to do it at. I don't think I've ever rolled the score on this twice. I know I've gotten at least 150. I seem to do better when I set it up for a 4-player game for some reason. Maybe I get on a roll or something, I don't know. Trying to shoot for that lit number 5 up there to advance my side bonus. Ooh, that was a nice little save. And found the outlane. This does have a match feature built into it, so that at the end of a game it'll light up a 2-digit number across the top of the backboard, and if it matches the last 2 digits in your score, you get a free credit. That's turned off right now because I have it set for extra balls. Then it's on free play. And as typical of a game of this era, you can choose either 3-ball or 5-ball. On this particular game, the only thing it changes is the number of balls you get. It doesn't change any of the scoring or anything like that. I know, I think it was maybe Bally, or maybe it was either Gottlieb or Bally that would change some of the bonuses and scoring if you went to a 3-ball game versus a 5-ball game. But this one, if you change it from 5-ball to 3-ball, the only thing it changes is the number of balls you get in the game. There's no other changes in that. So there's a total of 3 switches in the back. You have, you can set it for extra ball or free plays, replays. You can set it for 3-ball or 5-ball. And then the other switch is for the match feature. And then you can also set your bonus level. So this is set for 52,000 points. You reach that score, you get the either extra ball or free play. And there's a bunch of little colored wires you put in different holes, different contacts to change that setting. The tricky part with some of these older games is the color on the wire fades and they all just look beige. So it's a little bit of trial and error to figure out what your bonus or your replay is set at. I think the end of stroke gap on these flippers is just a little bit off because when the ball hits them, sometimes they come down and bounce right back up. A little bit of adjustment needed. You're also not very strong hold coils. Just a byproduct of the age of the machine. Matter of fact, I think some of the coils in this game still have the original aluminum sleeves in them instead of the plastic that you'd find in a newer game. Hey Amiga Cami, thanks for hopping in anyway. Sorry about your bandwidth issues. Oh boy. Thanks for the follow. And DanPack77, thanks for the follow. My alerts are not working tonight, so it's not telling me when I got new followers. But I do appreciate every one of you. one of the interesting thing about some of these export machines is some of them were fitted with an extra transformer in the back of the game, which served as an isolation transformer, an electrical safety device, kind of helping to reduce the risk of shock. These games originally came with a two-prong cord, and there was no ground, and it would the transformer would be in there to isolate the mains outlet from the rest of the game. So if a wire did touch the metal in here, you're less likely to get a shock, touching this game and another game. So the mounting bracket is still there in the back of this game, but the transformer probably was removed by the operator when it was shipped back to the United States, and they probably put it into another game that they received to replace this one. Dan, I've got 4 games in the collection. This is the first one I ever bought, and it's the only electromechanical game I have. All the rest are solid state. I'm trying to remember what year I got this one. I want to say it's probably 5 or 6 years ago now. The second game I got is right next to it. It's Williams Gorgar from 1979. Then down the line is the third game I bought, which was a Williams Big Guns. That's from 1987. And the most recent game in the collection is a Williams Space Shuttle, and that is from 1984. But those 3 games are solid state. They've got the digital scoring on them. Big Guns is a game where you can put your initials in when you get a high score. But Gorgar will display the highest score on it. Big Guns will show the 4 highest scores with your initials. And Space Shuttle will just show the 4 highest scores on there until you reset it. This one, you want to keep track of high scores. You either have to write it down on a chalkboard someplace, or take out your knife and carve it in the side of the game, as some people used to do over the years. Thankfully, this doesn't have any carvings in it. Lucked out on that it's despite being painted over, maybe the paint helped it. The fact that they painted over the whole outside of this game with white latex paint, and I was able to remove that without damaging the original paint underneath, maybe that's what was saving the original paint. It's got a few gouges here and there, but this game is, for all intents and purposes, 51 years old. It's had a few bumps over the years. I mentioned it up at the top of the stream, but I've been streaming since February of this year, and this is the first time this game has appeared on the stream. Last week I streamed Space Shuttle. Space Shuttle is the game that I've done the most, I guess, refurbishment on. I don't know if I'd call it a restoration, but refurbishment I would call it. That one got a whole new overlay, a hard top on the game, as well as just about everything being rebuilt. This game I've left mostly alone. It's had a little bit of touch up on the paint. It's not a perfect match, but it looks okay, and it's better than seeing bare wood in some of the places. One of the things, though, when I did get this game, around each pop bumper, and I don't know if you could see it on the camera, probably not. Well, you can see the black ring on the playfield there. Someone had stuck some adhesive rings there that had faux wood grain around each of the pop bumpers. And that was pretty tricky to get rid of. They had done that so it wouldn't wear the playfield there. So I took some freeze spray, and I froze those stickers and carefully peeled them up, and they just kind of flaked right off from the freeze spray. And then I was able to touch up the black with acrylic and it looks much better with the black there, as it was intended to have, instead of those. Nick Ann says Honey was acquired in 2018. Okay, my wife would know better. All right. Yeah, those faux wood grain stickers were sold by a couple different pinball distributor companies, and you could stick them on your playfield and help protect the high wear spots. And I guess it looked okay in the 70s, and I wanted it to look original, so I peeled that off of there. One of the things that went about a year before I finally figured out what was wrong with this is at the end of each ball, these reset back down to the bottom. When I first got the game, I didn't know it was supposed to do that, and it didn't do that. That was not resetting until you started a new game. And I thought, oh, gee, that's good. It carries over ball to ball. But then I realized, well, this is a 4-player game, and it was carrying over player to player. So I have the schematics for this game, and the schematics for this game are longer than the playfield. It's one continuous sheet. And I started studying it, and it's supposed to reset. And I started looking, and there is a little a contact that's supposed to be made when this drum spins around. And I was looking at it, and the contacts were on the wrong side of the drum. At some point, someone had spun it a little too far, and the contacts flipped around, and that was what was preventing it from resetting from player to player. So, as far as I know, everything on this game works the way it should have worked when it was brand new now. Everything resets properly. This will run off of coins. I have it set up so that you can get 2 games for a quarter if you chose to drop a quarter in there. And it does work in that aspect. But originally you could set this up to get drop 2 nickels in there for a game, 1 dime for a game, or 3 games for a quarter. That's how it'd be set up in the US. This one has 2 coin slots, and it's for 2 different denominations that they would have used in Denmark at the time. Yeah, Dan, anytime you want to stop in, give me a holler. I think I know who you are, because if you're the guy I'm thinking of, I have your old GPS and I'm still using it. So if you are that guy. That one didn't even give me a chance. Yep, that's you. Okay. And luckily I haven't had the need to go to Canada, so that GPS works fine for what I need it to do. I've actually been using that GPS for my weekend job, and gets me where I need to go quite faithfully and quite reliably, and still holds a charge and still takes updates. Yeah, if you're up here, give me a holler, and I'll make the house somewhat presentable and unbury the other pinball machines, because right now they're serving as supports for my computer equipment here to stream the games. That's the one thing about these 4 pinball machines, is every one of them was a project in one way or another. My second game, the Gorgar, was my first solid state game, and it was advertised as non-working. But when I went to look at it, it powered up, and it showed diagnostic information on the displays. So I knew it had at least a good motherboard in it. And a little bit of studying, and I had that playing in a couple of nights. I just love working on these, and I love a good project, and keeping my eye open for a. I want to get a Williams Space Station. That's the game I would love to add to this lineup. But I wouldn't mind getting a project, you know, just to have the satisfaction of bringing the game back to life and having that, you know, pride in my work to say, hey, I made this game do what it does. Boy, you can really get a lot of action in those pop bumpers up there. Now, for a while I had this game set a lot less steep than it is now. And it was possible to get the ball going between the top green pop bumper and this bumper right here. And you'd get it going back and forth, and it would just keep going for seconds. I mean, you know, 10, 15 seconds, that would just keep going back and forth, and you just rack up the points. Now, the little bumper outside of the pop bumper is only worth 10 points, but if that pop bumper's lit, you're getting 100, so, you know, each back and forth is 110 points. 63,000. Oh, boy. I got a little ways to go here before I can roll this over again. 8 o'clock already. Play another game or two here, and then we'll wrap it up and make it an early night tonight. I think I'll keep this game, I'll keep the cameras on this game for Sunday morning again, and probably stream this one again Sunday morning. Unless there's a big outcry to stream one of the other games. I mean, if you want to see Space Shuttle, Big Guns, or Gorgar, let me know in the chat, and I'll move the cameras over and stream that one Sunday and next week. But this is the debut of this one on camera, even though it's the game I've had the longest. It's also the loudest game in the collection. You can't play this one when the family's sleeping. Not with the bells. Hey, Amiga Cami, thanks for the follow. Again, apologize for the delay in acknowledging the follows here. My alerts are not working here tonight. All that action and only 29? I didn't roll it over, did I? I think I would have seen the extra ball light up a couple of times if I had rolled it over. Parts standard within companies and eras. Yes, as a matter of fact, they are. This has a lot of the same coils that you would find in my other games, although this game, being that everything is AC in here for the most part, there's no diodes on the coils. My solid states, you do have diodes, but this is the same shooter rod in this game that's in my other two games. Different strength springs on them. Almost identical assemblies for the kickers in here. Flippers are a little bit different, but you know, the the 3 solid state games all take the same. Well, no, 2 of them take the same flipper shaft. But yeah, for the most part, there's a lot of parts in here that are common, and every part you need for this game is pretty much available. Although I did have a broken drop target right here when I got the game, and the replacement I got was out of a guy up in Canada. So that's probably the hardest part I had to get. I suppose if you really needed to, you could look hard enough and you'd find these plastics available from someone selling them used. I know reproduction rollover buttons are still available for this. Of course, all the light bulbs are LEDs in this, so that's a common part. Rubber kits, they're all common size rubbers that are still used on pinball machines, so now you have more options than ever in that case. I put all traditional white real rubber on here, but if you wanted to, you could get different colors, different materials for different bounciness. So, you know, I kept everything kind of traditional on this game, except for the LEDs, and it runs cooler and uses less electricity with the LEDs in there. Plus, I don't have to worry about changing light bulbs. So, but yeah, for the most part, you can get the parts for this. They made thousands and thousands of these games, and during that era, they were coming out with several games over the course of a year, and they all used common parts. So yeah, there's a lot out there on the used market and reproduction market to get what you need. And there's actually some new innovations coming out for some of these games. There is a guy who has come out with a kit that will put a little LCD screen down here where the instruction card would go. And at the end of your game, you can use your flipper buttons to set your high score. You can put your initials and high score in. Now you got to be honest and type your own score in using the flipper buttons, but that's an option that's available. So there's some new innovations along those lines. Yeah, art is pretty tricky. I searched for a couple of years to replace the broken plastic that's right here, and I ended up making that one. That's a piece of clear acrylic, and I got some slide decal film, and I printed that in a laser printer. I actually scanned the original artwork, and a guy on one of the pinball forums redid the art and sent me the file, and I printed that on a color laser, and there's actually 2 slides on there. One that has one of them I printed on white and one I printed on clear, so I could get the white colors in there. So that one I made myself. Cut it out with a router, a handheld Dremel actually, with a router bit. And that was actually my practice one, and it came out so good I put it in the machine, and I still have more slide decals and more acrylic if I wanted to make more of them, but my first attempt came out good enough that I kept it in the machine. It looks darker than the other ones because it's not lit. There was never a light in that location. But with the lights off, it matches the other ones pretty closely. And I suppose I could always drop the art into some editing software and make it a little bit lighter if I wanted it more tan than brown. But I like the way it looks. And it's very common to find this piece broken because you're hitting that straight off of the flipper. And the corner was snapped right off of mine. There was a nice shot. That's the effect you want to get. You want to roll the ball right up those buttons and advance that up. Of course, I couldn't really capitalize on it, but the tricky part with this game, if you wanted to replace the back glass on this, there is a guy who makes a reproduction, but you got to send him your old glass, and he applies it to your glass. And he's got a digital process, and it's similar where he's he's sliding the art onto your existing glass after he scrapes your glass off. So you send him your worn out back glass, he scrapes it down, he prints a new digital file and adheres it to your glass. He does have a several month lead time because he does everything as one-offs, you know. And he has to destroy your existing back glass to do it. Otherwise you run afoul of the copyright. But basically he's restoring your back glass for you. And there it is, just sitting. That's why we don't have the. That's why we don't have the tilt bob connected. So we can give it a good nudge. That's another place where there's just enough wear in the wood that there's a little dimple there. At one point, there was a little bit of a track worn at the very top, and you'd plunge the ball. And sometimes it wouldn't drop from that top arch. It would just sit up there. And I had to slowly fill that in with some clear nail polish until it was, and then sand it with some very fine sandpaper so it was nice and even. And now the ball doesn't get stuck up there anymore. All right, one more game, then we're going to call it a night here. Again, I apologize for not acknowledging all the chatters right away here. For some reason, I'm not getting my alerts. I think between now and my next stream, I'll have to do a little troubleshooting on that. So again, this gate opened up when I got both the A and B drop targets up there. That also advanced these numbers by 3. And it gives you a chance to shoot the ball again. So now I've got all 5 pop bumpers lit up. They're each worth 100 now, so nice chance to get some extra points. Alright, so I've got this advanced now far enough that I have extra ball lit. Now that extra ball will alternate side to side each time I hit one of the 10-point switches. But, oh, and the ball goes out. Yeah, one more game lasts about 4. I used to do that a lot in college. One more game, and I put a quarter in, And I would keep getting free games and free games and free games. And next thing you know, an hour later, I'm still sitting there playing pinball. And, you know, the funny thing is, after college, I moved halfway across the country, and there was not a pinball machine for miles. And I went years without playing any pinball. And I'd say it's only within the last maybe 10 years I've really gotten back into pinball. And I found nearby there was an arcade that opened up that had mostly pinball. And I got really into playing there. And their air conditioning went out. And it was in the middle of the summer, and it was hot. And they closed down because they had no air conditioning. And that's when I saw this game for sale. And I'm like, I need to play pinball. I'm going to buy a pinball machine. So I kind of owe it to that arcade being closed due to no air conditioning, you know, for having this game. I think if I had a tilt bob in here, that may have been a tilt. That's the other thing about these EM games is once you tilt, it ends that ball. There's no grace period, no warnings. You tilt, you're done. And speaking of done, I think that's going to do it for tonight. 75,000, not too bad for the last game. I did get over one game over 100,000. Which is quite the accomplishment on this game. No 150,000 tonight. But, hey, thanks for all of you guys for coming in and visiting. And appreciate it. And I'll try to be back here again Sunday morning. Try to be here sometime between 10:30 and 11. And, well, if I get an early enough start, maybe I'll be here at 10 o'clock. So, thanks for tuning in. I'll have replays of this up on the channel and on YouTube. But... hey, thanks for joining me.